Hey everybody, Hostrone here with another first edition Friday video for you. I got another just kind of fun deck for you guys to take a gander at with me. We're going to go ahead, we're going to jump straight into Lackey, and we're going to do a seed phase. We're just going to do a seed phase for this deck. And then after we kind of do the seed phase setup, then we'll jump in and kind of talk about it a little bit here. So, all right, so we've seeded our Q's tent, we've seeded our temporal temporal conduit. We'll shuffle our missions. We will go first, and we reveal Battle of Cardassia, and then the opponent flips, and they're in the Gamma Quadrant. We have orb negotiations, which we'll put here. Opponent flips, they have attack at a rare phenomenon. They're going to put that on this side of Cardassia. We have resist occupying forces, which we'll put here. Impose order. They're just going to do that because they're seeing that we're in the Cardassia region, so they're just going to put their stuff together. And then we've got secure covert transportation that we'll put here. Opponent flips, find hidden base. We get Crisari Rendezvous, which we're going to put here. And then investigate quarantine here. And then we have rescue prisoners. We're gonna put rescue prisoners. Let's put rescue prisoners. I'm not quite sure where to put rescue prisoners. While I think about that, the opponent puts their other mission here in the Gamma Quadrant. Let's put rescue prisoners down here. All right. So then we go into the dilemma phase, and the opponent seeds stuff underneath our missions, and we're all like right along in here. So we're gonna put Starry Night. We have the choice of either going where there is a homeworld, or where we're going to seed our trading post. We are going to seed our trading post here, and so what we can do is we'll just seed our Starry Night underneath secure covert transportation. We're then going to put Lee Nollis underneath Cardassia 4. We'll seed our Ferengi trading post here. We're going to put a Cardassian outpost here, and then we're going to put the Nor right here. We'll go continuing mission to get ourselves taken prisoner. Attention, all hands gets seeded as well. Let's do an assigned support personnel. A Dominion War efforts. We're going to do a face down taking charge. That'll flip up later. We're going to put an equipment replicator onto the Ferengi trading post. Actually, you know what? I did this right. And then we'll assign mission specialists. And we'll do Dr. Ferrick and Narek here, and then we have the 6 sites for our Nor, which we're going to move over to here. And then that's basically the seed phase. So now that we've done the seed phase, you can see what it is that we're doing. And now we're going to talk about the deck. So I'm going to give a little backstory here. So like a couple weeks ago, I happened to notice this thread, like a couple weeks ago. John Carter just talks about remembering doing cargo runs. And then I also saw, the same time, MVB's deck where he uses Lee Nollis and a copy of Starry Night in order to double rescue prisoners for a bunch of points. So I thought it just, for whatever reason, kind of inspired me to come up with this kind of mishmash of those two ideas. It's a mashup of these two ideas. And basically what we're doing is we are cargo running for card draws in a TNG Cardassian deck. And the plan is that we seed Starry Night either at our homeworld or at where we seed our Ferengi trading post, and then with the equipment replicator plus the various things that the Cardassians can download, such as Taskbar Egg, that what we can do is we get we get some cargo runs going for the first several turns of the game. We have the Jovis, which is a freighter. It's a transport. And so we can use it, and we can use the supply ship, which is a freighter, in order to do a cargo run. So with the cargo run, when a freighter or transport or Ferengi ship's crew completes a cargo run, brings a non-hand weapon equipment from another facility for each mission pass, except for starting in locations, draw a card or download GPL, once per game per card title. And then, of course, we can also download smuggling, acquisition, or non-aligned navigational personnel. They can also report there, or they can download there. So then, basically, the idea is that we've got two missions in between, and they've all got very low range. So we're gonna go first. All right. All right. So. We are going to our missions just kind of came out weird, because what we would have liked to ideally done is just stick the Ferengi trading post. We would have liked to stick the Ferengi trading post here. We would have liked to have occupy. We would have liked to kind of flip these two. But it's not that big of a deal. The other thing we could have done is we could have stuck Crisari Rendezvous on this side of orb negotiations. Let's say that we did that, actually. If I would have been thinking about it, that's what I would have done. We would have just put the Nord there, and we could have put the Cardassian outpost here. And then what we would have done is we just would have put these cards here. And then that gives us everything we need to do. So let's just do that instead. So we get Lamech for free with the taken prisoner. That converts to a continuing mission draw. We run the continuing mission draw. Through the equipment replicator, all we need is a TNG personnel there. He's a TNG personnel. These are all TNG personnel. So we can immediately convert that into a download. So we'll just get ourselves, I don't know. Let's just grab an engineering tricorder, I guess. Then we get a universal for free with attention all hands. And then we get a card play, and our card play is going to be to use attention all hands download. That gets us our supply ship out of the deck. Boink. We're going to just reveal taking charge because we can. And then what we do is we just literally load up with our dudes and our equipment, and we begin a cargo run. Actually, we don't want that. I'm sorry. I messed up on which equipment we want. I'm trying to remember how to play this deck from literally like days ago, like putting this together. No, we have a Plasmodyne Relay, which we pull out of the deck. That's what it was. We pull the Plasmodyne Relay out of the deck to start with. And then the ship has 10 range, but anyway, we can begin a cargo run. We go 2, 6, 8. We go all the way to here. We complete our cargo run. And we draw 2 cards. But along the way, what we would have done is we would have stopped, when we were at our negotiations, we would have stopped, used Lamech to download Secure Homeworld so that we don't accidentally draw that. So we draw 2 cards. That's pretty cool. And then we do have an end of turn draw, but we don't really want to do that. What we want to do is we're going to discard a Q's Tent, and we're going to pull the Jovis into hand. And then we would end our turn. Opponent has their turn. Our turn, what we can do is we, Glenn T-Lac plays for free, again with taking, with taking prisoner. Now we download the tricorder. Then we have a Universal Garand for free, and he's going to get us a Cardassian Disruptor just because he can. And then we card play the Jovis. And there's one thing else I forgot to do last turn, which was doing a Assigned Support Personnel download. So we could have just grabbed a copy of Tell just for no reason. So we play the Jovis, and then we don't need to have Kivas Fajo yet. For whatever, we don't need to have him yet. What we'll do is we will assign support personnel again, and we'll grab a copy of Korak. The supply ship is able to run all the way back to here, since we have the Plasmodyne Relay. Then we switch over to the Jovis, and we have staffing because we've got not aligned, and it has 9 range. So now it can begin a cargo run. We cargo run all the way back to the Nor, which draws us 2 cards. And then end of turn, there's nothing in here that we necessarily want to have. So we are able just to take our end of turn draw. And then we go to our third turn, and our third turn, opponent's turn, we're going to download a Kivas Fajo. I don't know if I have another one in the deck. Yes, I do. So we download the one that's in the deck, because the one in hand becomes a replacement should he die. So we do that on our opponent's turn. We don't draw a card for anything. But we go to our third turn, and then what we're able to do is we can free play Tajor with attention all hands, take the card draw. Free play Oset with taken prisoner. Then we can card play We can card play Beverly and Will because it's fun. And then we assign support personnel. Let's grab Darrow. The ship can fly all the way to here. Then we can switch to the supply ship. The supply ship takes everybody and everything, and as it passes by, oops. And then as it passes by, we can use, again, taking charge, and we're going to download, out of the deck, we're going to download a copy of Forced Labor Camp onto Rescue Prisoners, because it can seed or play on Cardassia 4. It makes it so that our Cardassian personnel can attempt the mission. And then we continue on and we get here to Ferengi Trading Post. We can dock just because we want to. Alright, and then I don't know why I have a Type 2 Gallo, but sure. Oh, that's right, because it becomes the alternate in case we draw the supply ship. But anyway, so we now have 13 personnel and 3 equipment cards on turn 3 for which we can attempt secure covert transportation. And then, of course, the idea being that as soon as the quicker we can punch through this, we collect Starry Night. Starry Night gets us the Earring of Lenalis and the Genesis device. And we'll assume it takes us like 2 turns to do that. So we would have ended our turn drawing a card, which is a perfect card draw, which means that on the very next turn we could just go Dolak for free with taken prisoner to just straight up draw a card. We get a universal personnel in play this is just a nut draw here. With attention all hands, he can special download a Cardassian pad just because he wants to. And then we have a card play yet, so we would just card play Corral. And then we would assign support personnel. I think we have one left in here. It should be like Belcalis or whatever his name is. Oh my gosh, where is he? There he is? Yep, Belcalis. And then, like I said, we would attempt, we would solve, we would collect these things, and then the ship, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to go back to here. So what we would do is we would just go to here, and then we would figure out who's going to do a cargo run. We've cargo run what we can other than the Cardassian pad, so we would probably just have Kivas Fajo by himself. Kivas Fajo by himself would just take the Cardassian pad all the way to the Nor on a cargo run, drawing 2. Perfect. It's peeps. We need peeps. And then we would be able to have the supply ship simply come back here. We would slap a Genesis device onto the mission. We're going to protect the earring of Lee Nollis. There's no reason for us to put it at risk, but at the same time, you know, like if we get whacked by a disruptor overload, then I guess we're just screwed. But if we get whacked by a disruptor overload, then good on our opponent. And then we would just have to do another mission. No big deal. So we would just do a space mission and call it a day. Alright, so then we would attempt rescue prisoners. We push through that, and then again, we don't want to solve on the first turn that we do it. So we would just make sure that we just don't have strength greater than 50, or we don't have security, or we don't have geology, or whatever it takes to make sure. Chances are we're not going to have that anyway. You know, we're not going to be able to solve on a first attempt anyway. But then, of course, we would attempt, solve, we acquire Lee Nollis. This becomes worth 100 points. And then we've done 100, and then we would have made sure we had smuggling. Somehow we would have made sure we had smuggling. Where did he go? Yes, our smuggling peep. We would have made sure that we solved with our smuggling peep. We would have just done whatever was required to make sure we did that. And maybe it means we don't do this little cargo run here. But that was the reason why we weren't worried about anything. We would just make sure we solved with our smuggling dude and the +5, and then we would have had Narek as well. Barring that, if for whatever reason that doesn't work, the other way that we win is we just got to get Kivas Fajo back, and then while he's present with an unduplicated artifact, if we solved with Narek, then we know that we have the 5 points there, and then just Kivas Fajo being present with the Earring of Lee Nollis is worth 5 points, and that gets us to our 100. So we basically have multiple ways of doing it. He is present with this unduplicated artifact. It is placed on the mission, but it is present because it's on the mission, and it is an artifact. It's just no longer an equipment card. So I believe this works, because even though it's placed on the mission, I think you are present with the Genesis device, but I'm not quite sure about that. Don't quote me on it. But, yeah. Alright, so basically all we gotta do is just get Kivas Fajo to be present with an Earring of Lee Nollis, and then just have Narek solve. Secure covert transportation, or we don't need Kivas Fajo at all if we just have Narek plus smuggling, or another alternative is we just solve it with the smuggling and then have Kivas Fajo be present with the Earring. So there's lots of different ways that we can get those additional 10 points that we need. But basically we're scoring 30, 100, 30 from this, 100 from this, and then we just need the other 10 points to round the corner. So yeah, and that's how basically we 2 mission win doing just planets in roughly the Cardassian region. And again, if for whatever reason your opponent somehow finds a way to separate your secure covert transportation from your Cardassian region, you can stick the Starry Night underneath orb negotiations and then just hope they didn't dead end your orb negotiations. We also have, keep in mind, we also have Temporal Conduit. We can make sure that we don't get smashed by a Mila combo. So if you're facing a deck that you might think has a Mila combo blackout, we do have the Stone Knives and Bearskins to overcome it. And then we have Dig Dig is downloadable by Vosh, who is in the deck. She also provided us with another copy of some more smuggling. And also keep in mind that we can download smuggling at will with the cargo bay. We just draw no cards that turn. Excuse me. So we have plenty of options for being able to get what we need. We have multiple copies of Suna in the deck to also be able to grab the Reflection Therapy. We have Q's Tent to grab Reflection Therapy or the Dig if we need to. And then, of course, the other way that we can round the corner should things go really sideways on us is that we can possibly catch a captive off of our opponent and then just put them in a labor camp. And you catch a captive from an opponent by having them relocate, and then you just battle them with taken prisoner. And so if the opponent's on the far side of us, they're either going to end up at orb negotiations, like if they were on this side of us, or they're going to end up at secure covert transportation if they're on this side of us. And then with the dilemmas, we do have males' love interests, we have females' love interests. And then here are the dilemma combos that I've chosen to run. Since we have like 3 or 4 objectives that we're going to have in play pretty reliably. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if your opponent has 1, if your opponent has even just 1, then you're going to get a full 5 stopper. And then that then maybe turns the male's love interest plague ship into a wipe the ship combo, and they had to like committed enough people to try to push through on the temptations of the flesh. And then of course medical crisis gets even harder, so they either like lose a medical or what have you, and then the medical crisis is just hard, obviously. In space, we're just running stuff that just delays the opponent. And that's just kind of the idea here, is we're just trying to delay our opponent as just for as long as we possibly can, while we just try to pound these 2 planet missions out. So again, it's actually a fairly straightforward idea, but it's just another new interesting way to play TNG Cardassians that I've come up with here. I haven't really seen anybody playing TNG Cardassians, and I just want to put it out there that I think that there's a lot of different ways that they could be played. And so like I said, I drew inspiration from just those random things people talking about, people posting, people doing, that just kind of triggered a little bit of ingenuity in just this idea that popped into my head. So, but yeah, one option that you can also do, if you really, really want to, is if for whatever reason you don't want to do like the 2 mission win here, you can play TNG Cardassians. Like if you don't want to do this like 2 planet, 2 mission win thing, what you can actually do is you could seed Starry Night at Cardassia, and then obviously you can play with, instead of like, and you still have like the Q's tents or whatever, and you just Q's tent for Genesis effect, you Genesis effect Cardassia, name dead end, and then you know that you can push through, you acquire Starry Night, and you just do it. Then you just do Cardassia 4. That's another way that you can do this. You don't have to do the whole Ferengi trading post thing. That's just something I did for the funsies of it. But it would save a seed slot and give you a total flex mission to not even have to do this one. Just a thought. I've done that before, and I just wanted to tell you about it. I didn't feel the need to necessarily like do it this time, because you guys have seen me do that before. But I just thought I would mention it as an alternative route to play this deck. And then if you do that, then you can just do these 2 missions that way. If you want to play the deck slightly differently, where you're not even doing necessarily a 2 mission win, you can actually solve all of the Cardassia region missions. You have forced labor camp to open up rescue prisoners, and then for Battle of Cardassia, what you would do is you, instead of grabbing Earring of Lenalis or grabbing the Genesis device, like I said, if you don't want to try to do, if you want to just do like, if you could here, because this is my thought, if you don't do the what I would do is not do the Genesis device. Just a thought. You just don't do the Genesis device. Instead, you get a trilithium weapon, and then after you, sorry, no, yeah. After you solve, instead of grabbing a Genesis device because you're no longer doing a 2-mission win, what you can do is you grab a trilithium weapon, and then you can rotate Cardassia 4, and then you're doing the opposite side of it. So you're doing the top end of it, which is the Cardassia side of it, where you need leadership ×2, security ×2, and treachery ×2. You do need to have weapons greater than something in order to like attempt it, but it is a way that you can do it. I mean, it's not very reliable, but it does make it attemptable. So, just a thought. It's kind of a, like, I wouldn't recommend that one, but it's just maybe if you wanted to be like even more super like casual fun style with it. Because I think it says, does it say weapons greater than 36? Yeah, I think you need weapons greater than 36. Which is a lot. So like I said, I wouldn't recommend doing that, because then you got to put like 4 ships into play. Oof, harsh. Not going to be easy to do. So, and they got to be good ships too. Like the Jovis isn't going to help you. So, I would recommend sticking to something close to what we're doing here. But I hope you enjoyed the deck. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We are up to, oh, I think I lost 2 subscribers. Oh, well, I lost 3 subscribers. Oh, that's disappointing. Oh, I wonder what I did to lose those subscribers. My bad. Sorry, everybody. But I hope you liked the video. Please like the videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And may the profits be with you.